Oh hi, so I'm going to make a quick video now about books that I've read recently, not that recently, but recently, so like not the past year because I've been on BookTube almost a year now. I mean more like the previous 2 years, like after my son was born, until the point that I came on YouTube. And those books are by the way, if you're interested in this video, if you enjoy it in any way, please click the like button. I would really appreciate it, and comment below, obviously, if you're so led, and subscribe if you're not subscribed. It would mean the world to me. Okay, so yeah, the 5 best books that I've read fairly recently. The first one I want to mention I read a little over a year ago, and it was called Convenience Store Woman. I forget the name of the author. I think it's like Sakaya Murakami or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember her name exactly. But it's a story about a lady who's like pretty much obsessed with her job in a convenience shop, and kind of doesn't really fit into societal expectations. She starts the book off by talking about how as a child she didn't feel like she had a personality of her own. She just copied other people, which I found really interesting. I could relate to that a little bit myself. Like when I was a young person, I guess I was not very secure in my identity. But as the novel progresses, she doesn't conform, other than working hard to societal expectations and norms. And the story is really about how she kind of creates meaning for herself in her own life through her work. Really, it's her work that gives her her sense of self to herself. And it's a really good book. It's extremely quirky. She meets a really weird guy at one point. And yeah, moves in with him. I won't give too much away, but I would recommend it. I would give it 4.75 to 5 stars. I really liked it. It's a Japanese book. It was cool. Okay, the next book I wanted to talk about was maybe Practical Magic. I read that just after my son was born, a few months after my son was born, and I really liked it. It was a book about 3 generations of sisters who are all in some way affiliated with magic and the occult and stuff. It was a really interesting book. It was a page turner. Characters in it were really nice. I could relate to them. They were very I don't know if that makes sense, but cogently feminine kind of characters. Yeah, I related to the middle generation of sisters, especially because they're around my age. In the book, they're around 30 to 50 or something. I don't know how old this, as the book progresses. It starts from their childhood, but the book mostly focuses on these 2 sisters in their kind of adulthood. So yeah, even though the sisters are both poles apart, I related to both of them in a way, I guess. And I just thought it was a really well crafted book, and it was on a topic that really interested me at the time because I was involved in the new age and stuff. And it's not a new age book at all. It's just a novel that kind of accepts the possibility that there is magic out there that humans have access to. As a premise, it's a good book. Again, I would give it 5 stars. I think it's really cool. I would say like it's a unisex book, but if you're a woman, I think you would really enjoy it. And yeah, I think my audience is pretty mixed. So yeah, I would recommend that book, Practical Magic, and it's by a writer called Alice Hoffman. Okay, the next book I want to talk about is maybe The Institute by Stephen King. It was a bit like Stranger Things or something like this. It's about children with magic powers being abused for like megalomaniac, like governmental and intergovernmental purposes. Like it was. Does that sentence make sense? It kind of went on for so long in my head that I can't remember what I was saying. But yeah, it's about these psychic children who like governments use and abuse basically. And I won't say more than that because I don't want to give much away, other than I absolutely hated the ending, but I still give it a good 4.5. I've never read a Stephen King book before, and after reading this, I can completely see why he's like so well loved and famous. Brilliant book, brilliant writer. And I think the last one I maybe wanted to mention, let me think. The Danish Way of Parenting was a good one. That's like an afterthought, I guess, because I know I have a list of books, like five books, and I know I've only mentioned 3 so far. Sorry, this is what happens when I just randomly make a video, I guess, and don't write anything down beforehand. Normal People. Yeah, Normal People by Sally Rooney. That's another one I read like fairly recently. A bit of a frustrating book, but because like the characters, you wanted to shake them a little bit. They were not very good at communicating with each other, I guess. And I found the male character a bit like stereotypical, I'm not sure, and hard to explain, but he was kind of like, as a representation of a working class character, I found him a bit like stereotypical, I guess is the only word I can think of right now. And the female character, what was her name? I've forgotten both of the characters' names. It was a really good book. I will remember it for a long while. Just for like the feeling of being really close to these characters, I guess. I don't know if I was emotionally invested, but it's like creates quite an intimate atmosphere, that book, when you're reading it. And yeah, the female character, whatever her name was, I found like also a little bit infuriating. And I didn't like how the writer kept on talking about how skinny she was. I didn't think that was like a very good influence, because she's supposed to be like super cool and intelligent. Yeah, it does kind of make sense and fit her character, but I just didn't like that aspect of the book. Other than that, I would give it 4.75. I think it was really good. I can see what all the hype was about, because I know it's a really popular book and a lot of people really love it. And yeah, Sally Rooney, good writer. I don't know if I'll read any more of her books anytime soon, because I feel like all the others are going to be quite similar, or like have a similar tone to them. Correct me if I'm wrong. What do you think of Normal People? Have you enjoyed this book? And yeah, with that, I think I'll close. I did want to talk about The Little Prince, I should say, because I read that with my son when he was a little baby, and it was a very sweet book. I remember it being very sad at the end, and I remember from it, because I read it like almost 3 years ago now. I read it, and I remember thinking that it does a really good job of like satirizing the adult world, which is something I like in literature, definitely. That's probably why I liked The Institute so much, I think, by Stephen King, except the ending. And yeah, with that being said, I think I'll close the video here. Thanks for watching. I'll do another reading update soon. I'm listening to Frankenstein today a little bit, and he's just the guy, the Finnish guy. He's just created Frankenstein, the monster, and he's kind of run away from him straight away. It seems like it's going to be an interesting book, to say the least. I listened to a summary of the plot earlier, like half listened to it, just to maybe get a grip on where it's going to go, because it's a classic and it's not super easy to understand. I wouldn't say it's inaccessible, but yeah, I just wanted like an overarching view of the plot, and I wasn't really listening, but I've got a vague idea of what happens with this monster, and yeah, seems like it might be like a bit of a heavy read, I suppose, or a heavy listen, as far as it's obviously dealing with like kind of like big moral ideas and philosophy and stuff. So yeah, it's interesting. I would recommend it so far, but we'll see what I think when I finish. I read a little bit more. I'm doing my reading update now. Maybe I'll just combine these two videos. I read a little bit more of Hunger Games sequel, Catching Fire. It's really good. Giving it 4 stars so far, and I'm about halfway through. I think it's going to be a 4 out of 5. I would have given The Hunger Games 5 out of 5. I read that about 3 years ago as well, and really loved it. Yeah, Doctor of Hiroshima. I haven't touched for a few months, or a couple of months, whenever I made that last video on it. It is a really amazing historical document. I'm loving it so far. Yeah, but those are the books I'm reading. As for what I'll read when I finish Catching Fire, which hopefully will be within the next month, it'll be tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow, because I've got a physical book of that, and I probably need to pick a new audiobook as well to listen to, other than Frankenstein, because I think I'm only going to listen to that in little chunks every now and then, like savour it or focus on it anyway, because it seems to demand quite a lot of my attention when I'm listening to it. I am listening to it on like 2.5 speed, but not boasting. I just like to listen to things quickly. I wouldn't be offended if anyone listens to my videos on sped up on like double speed, because I think I've got quite a slow voice. I'm not sure if I talk very quickly. I think I talk quite slowly on videos because I'm collecting my thoughts usually. But anyway, thanks for watching to this point. Please comment what's on your TBR, what you think of some of the books that I've mentioned, and with that being said, I'll leave you to it. Have a nice rest of your day or evening. Take care. Bye.